Hello.
So what is going on, guys? It's Triple G here, back with another Outriders video, and today I'm going to show you why Devastator is the easiest class to get to CT15 and what the build is and how you can do it really quickly. Guys, I've been asked for this video for a while now, so let's get into it. If you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to the channel or join us over on Twitch. We stream 5 times a week, and otherwise, let's get straight into this video. So the build itself is really simple, and Outriders makes things really easy for us. One thing that you need to know about Outriders is that you need to pick a tree and then sell that tree. So the tree that we are going to be using today is the bottom tree, which is an anomaly, which is what I consider to be the traditional way to play Devastator. So here's the tree. All the way through, we are buffing resistance piercing, anomaly damage, and bleed damage, bleed duration, all the way through to the capstone. That is what we're all about. The premise of this build is the more that we make people bleed, the more that we will heal. And whilst they are bleeding, they're also taking more damage as well. In terms of the skills that we're going to use, we're going to be using Earthquake. Now this is going to be our primary source of damage. I'm going to use Gravity Leap here for some ways for us to get out of any trouble that we might get into, and Impale. Now you can use some different skills here, but for the purposes of this video, I highly recommend Impale for that single target damage, because sometimes it will really be difficult to take that single target down, but with Impale you'll do some nice chunks of damage. In terms of the weapons, I cannot emphasize enough how good a Roaring Umbra is. It is sensational. Kinetic Stomp on this weapon will deal 232k damage to anyone around you. Now this is amplified when you're using this with Fortress. Fortress is a tier 3 mod that you can get on the Death Shield. My advice to you is, if you are not already doing CT15's and you are on your way up, if you get a Death Shield, dismantle it, learn this mod, put it on another gun and carry on. This mod will clutch you through and give you that extra damage you need to get up to CT15 as fast as possible. And just on that point, we did the exact same build, this whole thing in one stream. We went from CT6 all the way to CT15 gold, so it can be done, and it is really simple with this build. In terms of a backup weapon, I would highly recommend the Imploder, but something that's going to be able to do decent damage to those flying enemies and single targets that are not within your close proximity, so that you can keep those times down. The pistol can be anything you want it here, that doesn't really matter. In terms of the modifications for the actual armor itself, you're going to be wanting to buff Earthquake, Impaler. Don't worry about buffing anything to do with Golem's Limb. It's all about Impaler. It's all about Earthquake. In terms of the statistics you should be looking for, obviously the 3 white bars are the important ones. So what we're going to be looking for is anomaly power, cooldown reduction, and status power. If you can't get status power, then healing receive like you have on this one is nice. The set that you want to be looking for when you start getting legendaries is the Seismic Commander. That's going to give you an extra 50% damage to everyone we make bleed, and we're going to be making a lot of people bleed. Again, these 2 items here will come with the perfect role of anomaly power and status power. I highly recommend Bloodshock, Extra Quake. Palisade is really nice when you get to the high tiers. Captain Hunter, again, for those extra damage against elites, because single targets are going to be a problem at times. Then we've got Tainted Blood here for extra damage, Rivers of Blood, extra damage and impaling on bleed. Then the gloves, do not use the seismic set gloves. The seismic set gloves roll with health, and that is not what we want. We want anomaly damage. So you're going to find yourself some new gloves that kind of look like this: anomaly, cooldown, status power. Finally, for the boots, we probably will use the boots from the set, although the helmet I've heard is the one that we can get to. So anomaly power and cooldown on this one, again, not perfect. I would like status power here. I haven't got it. But emergency stance at the moment looks like there's a little bit of a bug. And if you get emergency stance once, you have it for the entire expedition. So it's worth putting this on to give yourself a damage reduction. Now, in terms of the gameplay loop, it's really simple. We're going to be wanting to get in amongst it. Our Roaring Umbra is going to do about 40 to 50% of the damage that we need to do. Get in there, keep laying shots down on enemies, and then keep using your abilities. Don't worry about the resistance thing, just keep making them bleed, keep hitting them off. And because we've rolled cooldown on pretty much all our gear, we are then able to get our action skills back as fast as possible, and then we are able to do as much damage as possible. If you're going to target any actual expeditions themselves, go for archways, go for the droughts. Those are really good for pushing your CTs further, are generous in times, and they are just with beasts. Beasts are your friend. Camplan is not your friend here, because the enemies hide behind cover and split up, whereas beasts will always rush you and come close to you, playing into this build's strengths. And a final note just on the build as well, as you can see, I do not have the set bonuses, I do not have god rolled gear, I have good gear, and the reason why I have good gear is every single time that I have got gear, say I get a blue, I'm checking the blue for those white stats in the middle. If they have rolled the 3 good ones, which is anomaly and then status and then cooldown, I then check the first mod on that blue. If that first mod has anything to do with earthquake or impale, and it's one that I'm previously using, let's say on a glove or something like that, I can move those mods around and make use of the fact that those 3 stats are perfect. So don't just dismantle your blue armors, because that is an easy way for you to get up. And remember, level them up before you upgrade them to purple. Leveling them up does not use titanium while they're blue, but will use titanium once they're purple. So there you have it, guys. That is it for today's video. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel or join us over on Twitch. We stream 5 times a week. And otherwise, I'll catch you on the flip.